All right, students. In a previous video, we studied the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs of a right triangle, and c is the hypotenuse being the side that is across from the right angle. The Pythagorean Theorem is useful when we know two sides of a right triangle and we're looking for the third or missing side. Let's set up our formula. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, across from the right angle is always the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always c. We'll put the 15 in for c. The x and the 13, those are the legs, and the legs can go in any order you like. Now let's get a calculator to help with the computation. I need 13 squared and 15 squared. Now to get x by itself, I must move this 169. The inverse of addition is subtraction. $225 minus 169 is 56. Finally, to get x by itself, I take the square root of both sides. The square root of 56 is 7.4831. We generally round these problems to the nearest thousandth. 1,000 has 3 zeros. Check the next place value out. Since that number is small, we'll leave this at 7.483. Let's take that back to the picture. If my longest side was 15 and one leg is 13, then the missing leg is about 7.483. That looks good. Now on your homework problems, you're going to be asked to sketch your own right triangle, then find the length of the side not given. We'll continue to round our answers to the nearest thousandth. Let's try number 1. We sketch our own triangle. Make it a right triangle, which means it must have a right angle. The legs are 6 and 8, and the legs are the two sides that make up the right angle. Our job is to find the missing side. That's the side across from the right angle, which is the hypotenuse. Now set up an a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remembering that the side across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse must be c. X must go there. The 6 and the 8 are the legs, and they can go in whatever order you like. Either in your brain or on your calculator, get 6 times 6 and 8 times 8. Since these two numbers are both on the same side of the equal sign, they're like terms, I can add them. The last step is always to take the square root. And the square root of 100 is 10. If I take 10 back to my picture, where the legs were 6 and 8, certainly seems reasonable for the hypotenuse to be 10. Let's try the same thing with number 2. I'll draw my own right triangle. The right angle is here, and across from the right angle is the hypotenuse. And in this problem, the hypotenuse is 40. I'm told that one of the legs is 10. My job to find the other leg. So we'll set up a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Always remembering that across from the right angle is the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse must be C. So the 40 will plug in for C. The legs are 10 and X. Those can go in whatever order you like. Now, either in your brain or on your calculator, 10 squared is 100. 40 squared is 1,600. Now, to get X by itself, I must get rid of this 100. So I'll subtract 100 from each side. (1,600 minus 100 is 1,500. Now I'm going to need a calculator to take that square root. And the square root of 1,500 is 38.72983. Round to the nearest thousandth. That's 3 place values. So check the 4th place value out. Since that number's big, we round up. We'll round 729 up to 730. That's 38.729 rounds up to 730. Got it. When I draw my picture for number 3, I'll try to make the legs the same length, because the problem tells me that they are each 20. Now we'll set up our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What I'm looking for is the missing side. Since it's across from the right angle, that's the hypotenuse. We'll plug in x for c. The legs are each 20. Either in your brain or on your calculator, get 20 squared. 20 times 20, that's 400. Since these are on the same side of the equal sign, I can add them. Now take the square root. I'll need a calculator for that. The square root of 800 is 28.28427. 28427. Let's round that to the nearest thousandth. That's 3 place values. Check the 4th place value out. And my final answer is 28.284. Got it. Last example. Again, start with a generic right triangle. Where the hypotenuse is 26 and one leg is 10. Our job, find the missing leg. Here's my formula. My hypotenuse is 26. One leg is 10. The other is what I'm looking for. I can do 10 squared in my head, but I'll use a calculator to get 26 squared. 26 times 26 is 676. Now get rid of this 100. We'll subtract 100 from each side. Last step, take that square root. The square root of 576 is 24. Nice and even. All right, your turn to do some homework. Work hard. Show your work just like this. Sketch the triangle. Start with Pythagorean Theorem. Solve. Take the square root. All right, I'll see you later on today.